the importance of renters insurance. Are you currently renting a house or living in a flat and you don't have renters insurance? Then today's chat might be just what you need to hear. Today I'm talking to Chris Rolfe from Bridges Insurance in Hamilton, and he's going to tell us why it's so important that tenants have insurance. It's great to have you here, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Firstly, can you tell us why tenants should have rental insurance?
Absolutely. Whilst the landlord has the house insured, that policy won't extend to cover any of the tenant's contents or belongings. Sometimes tenants get confused by that matter. Yes. So it's important that if they want their own goods insured, their furniture, their personal items, their sporting gear, etc., that they have a contents policy. Often you can buy a very low cost policy that will cover the goods in the house only, just furniture, etc., for damage that occurs inside the house or the property. But you can also have that extended to include anywhere in New Zealand. So cell phones these days, $3,000, you probably should have some contents insurance.
So I guess some questions that come up would be things like parked cars that get broken into. Yeah. That would be quite common, I would imagine.
Exactly, that's a common loss, stuff off the back of the seat, laptops, electronic goods. I think all people should have that type of cover. The other point for your renters to consider is their liability or their personal liability cover. So let's say you're having a Sunday afternoon backyard cricket tournament and someone hits the ball into the neighbour's plate glass window. That will be something that the tenant could be held responsible for. That glass window could be $3,000, yes. And you might find your neighbour's insurer asking you to pay $3,000. A simple contents policy worth, say, $400 will cover that for you.
Probably something else that I think that people with contents insurance maybe don't know or need to know is what kind of responsibility is on the tenant or the person insured to make sure that they've kept all their receipts for their purchases.
Yeah, interesting one. In a perfect world, you'd have a receipt for everything, but not many of us do that.
No.
So the insurers will ask for proof of purchase, especially on larger items, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be covered if you don't have it. But if you've just bought a large screen TV worth $6,000, hi-fi equipment, and suddenly you've got $12,000 worth of expensive items and you can't prove at all that you bought it, the insurer rightly could say, no, we're not going to pay that claim. But they're certainly not going to say that if you can't prove when you bought something 10 years ago for $200.
So if they're buying things, say, from Trade Me or Facebook Marketplace, whatever, those, like how would you say take photos of the item and the serial number and kind of, I guess, have a bank record?
That always helps, more the better. Credit card details for the purchase, maybe Marketplace has a record of that purchase. As much as you can do will help. What it will do is it will speed the claim up.
Okay, Chris, any final advice for tenants looking to get contents insurance?
Yeah, my advice would be any insurance is better than no insurance when it comes to a contents or a renter. Just worry about the big things. Worry about fire, flood, earthquake, those big losses. If you lose your whole household of contents that you've accumulated over 5 years, you might need $20,000 or $30,000 to replace that. So just get a policy that at least covers the major perils. I mean, if you look in what happened in Auckland, a lot of renters lost their entire contents.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chris. I think that's been a really great insight and we really appreciate you coming along today.
No problem, my
And
pleasure.
just remember, if you've got any questions with regards to looking after your rental property investment, come and see the friendly team at Lodge. We're here to help.